The outcome of the conversation would decide actively the fate of many million residents of the kingdom. Not just figuratively, literally. Life and death depend on this discourse. Therefore, this discourse has so much potency. Arjun is the real life student, not the ideal disciple. Therefore, Krishna's persuasion has the cutting edge mastery. That's what happened with Arjuna as well. So the Bhagavad Gita is such a real and captivating.
Very good afternoon, Acharya ji. So just let me introduce myself first. I'm Dr. Anasuya Roy, PhD from Textile Technology in 2019. So my question is, so you always say that truth or righteousness is actually the one who needs Shakti, advertisement or power, right? Whereas Maya, on the other hand, is rampantly advertised and promoted. But if you look at today's context, money is also a very powerful tool which resides mostly with several people who might not be so much righteous. So, what do you suggest? Do we transform those power holders who are power holders of money into righteous one, or do you say that we should, transfer transform those people into more righteous one? Should the money be transferred, or should the people be transferred into a more righteous one? If I'm making any sense. So, if the later is correct, how would you earn a huge money power from the system of Maya and without succumbing yourself to Maya? And eventually, what's the point? Because if you look at any particular time, there will be an equilibrium in the existence of both the right and wrong persons holding power. So this impact, I believe, won't be realized or be felt by the society. If you can kindly enlighten me on this issue.
You see, this has always been the case, and some kind of a solution has been found depending on the specifics of the time and the age. You look at that classical duel between Ram and Ravan. Ravan was the superpower of that time. All the resources were concentrated in his hands, were they not? And the palace itself was of gold. What more can be said? And he was sought to be reformed initially, obviously. The first attempt has to be to enlighten the other, to try to reform the other. But that usually won't work. And when that does not work, then there has to be strife and struggle, dharmyuddha. It's not without reason that the most important scripture of the Sanatan fold is set on the battleground, Bhagavad Gita. So, and even there, on the battlefield, the Pandav side was, in terms of resources and numbers, significantly less powerful than their adversaries. So, solutions have to be found. On one hand, you have to try to bring people like Duryodhan in line. So Vidur tried to say something to him. Bhishma tried to show some sense to him. Even Krishna went to teach him and somehow get him to agree to peace. Sometimes that works, sometimes that may not work. When that does not work, then you have to figure out how to accumulate resources and how to have the tactical wherewithal to confront the enemy, and then you take them on. There is no other way. You talked of the rich people in today's era. You see, if we could be a people who work on consciousness, then the riches would ideally belong to the people who have the consciousness to utilize those riches. It would be a simple equation. The extent of resources at your disposal must be proportional to the depth of your consciousness. Simple equation that would determine how much money a person must have or could have. On the contrary, if you have a society in which people with very ordinary or even below ordinary levels of consciousness are commanding resources and power, then that society is bound to go down, as we are seeing today. And that's adharma in the social sense. That's exactly what Sri Krishna was trying to avoid. Hastinapur was the most important and the most powerful kingdom of the time. Krishna didn't want that all those resources should go into undeserving hands like that of Duryodhan. It was not just a matter of justice prevailing in the sense of a feud between brothers. It was not something internal to one family. It was something that was going to affect a lot of other people. The entire population of Hastinapur, and also probably all the other kingdoms in the Indian subcontinent. It had a much wider context. So dharma then had to be upheld, and that's why the battle had to be fought, and that's why the Gita had to be narrated. That's something that you would need in every era, because Maya is at work continuously, and so she ensures that all kinds of nonsensical and atrocious things keep happening. All kinds of undeserving people keep getting power. They keep becoming the presidents and the prime ministers of the world, and even evil minds keep getting to accumulate wealth and influence. So when you see that happening, then it's upon you to go back to the Gita and remember what was instructed to you, and not be shy of a good battle. No,